This is Tehachapi. Sit back and relax as Key, Corey, Greg, and Ashley talk about what's happening in and around Tehachapi.
It's Tehachapi time, Key Budge. Today joining me, Jessica Garner, our Farmers Market Manager. Jessica, welcome back.
Hello.
It's nice to have you back. And today, after the last show, we had a vendor in. We had Jackie Boschman from the Old Town Flower Farm. And then we said we need to have some of our musicians, some of our local talent come back and share what they do and show off what we're going to see and listen to in the farmers market this year.
Yeah, we invited Django today to come speak with us and play some music. He's one of our younger, I think, musicians this year. So I thought it'd be fun to chat with him.
Django, welcome to Tehachapi.
How are you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you for taking the time to come in, and we're excited because this is going to be something new for us. We have not had any musical performance on the show. You're the first one, so welcome, and thank you for doing it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about yourself and your journey through music. You're here from Tehachapi?
Correct. I live in Keene these days. I've spent most of my life in Tehachapi.
Okay. This musical journey that you're on, where did this originate?
I'm from Kernville, and it probably originated in church. I went to church there. I went to church in Lake Isabella, actually. But my mom's a musician, and my grandpa's a musician, so instruments were always around, and I was always going to kind of make my way around to it.
As you're talking, just because folks don't have the visual to go with it, you've got a guitar in hand. You're all dialed in. What's significant about this guitar that you're going to play for us in a little bit?
This is my grandpa's guitar. It's a EJ200. It's an Epiphone. I didn't really have a consistent acoustic electric, which is what I mostly use for like any of the folk stuff that I do. So he lent this to me, just like hang on to it for as long as you want to hang on to it, as long as you're using it, he said. But it's just a beautiful guitar. I've really enjoyed playing it.
So with the musical background that you've got with your family, with your mom and your grandfather, what are some of the other inspirations besides the family ties that's driven you to perform the way that you do?
That's a good question. Fiddler's Crossing is kind of an institution of Tehachapi. Peter and Debbie Han used to do a music camp called Camp Kia. And that's maybe, where the fire started. I was playing fiddle a little bit, trying my hand at it. And I did that for a couple years when I was younger and kind of put it away, but always stayed around music, and then eventually worked my way toward guitar and started getting interested in the folk stuff, starting with maybe 70s folk. And then that's when I kind of worked my way back toward the older American traditional stuff.
And now you're performing, you're out there, you're a part of the Tehachapi music scene, playing at the vineyards, you're playing at some of our breweries. I see your name, and I hear it all the time because Claire Scotty, who hosts our weekend update for entertainment and food at the breweries and wineries, it seems like you're performing every week here.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm managing to stay pretty busy. I try and get something every week. That's my goal. But I have the open mic that I host at West Lane Brewing every Wednesday at 5. So that's my baby right now. That's my project.
So you're actually the host, the MC for that event?
Yeah. I pretty much just keep the line moving, keep the list moving, and make sure everyone gets some time to play and everything.
So how does that work for you? So you get to perform a little on open mic night as well?
Yeah, if there's a lot of people, and I'll try and work a song in there still. But a lot of times, if crowd's coming in and nobody wants to go first, I kind of think that's my duty, if you will.
You warm them up?
Yeah, I get up there first. No one wants to do that, so you shake the dust off a little bit.
I love that. Jessica, so what are we going to see this year in the farmers market? So we'll see Django, and let's kind of highlight the musical aspect of farmers market in downtown Tehachapi.
We opened up our applications for musicians back in March when we opened up our vendor applications, trying to seek out wider variety of musicians. Last year we had a lot of young 20s, high school aged kids that were coming in to play music. They did a beautiful job, but a lot of the feedback we got was, hey, you need to expand this to some of the other local musicians here in Tehachapi that perform at some of the wineries, some of the breweries that would love to get their names out there as well. So we opened it up big time.
And what kind of response did you get?
I had 10 applicants. So we have a few people that'll be playing twice, but I only have one repeat from last year. So they're all brand new musical acts this year.
When is Django scheduled? Do you know?
The end of June, I believe.
Yeah, June.
I didn't bring my list in.
So a couple weeks in is when we'll get the opportunity to listen to you out in Centennial Plaza. Is there a difference for you performing outside or inside?
Oh, sure. From an audio perspective, inside is easier. But from an energy perspective, outside's more magical, if you will. That's kind of how I put it. It's harder to get right, but when you do, it's a really good time.
All right. We asked you to bring your guitar and maybe share a little bit of your own original music. We're here in the Tehachapi studio, so we've never done any kind of a live musical performance. So can I ask you to oblige us and share one of your songs?
Yeah, you bet. I'll give it a try. This is a song that I wrote called Meet Me by the River. Darling, I'm fading. My time will be over soon. Meet me by the river, underneath the light of the moon. Oh, darling, I'm fading. My time will be over soon. Meet me by the river, underneath the light of the moon. Carry a lantern, lest you fall and hurt yourself. I will never love another when your time on earth has passed. Oh, carry a lantern, lest you fall and hurt yourself. I will never love another when your time on earth has passed. Person has woke up to find their loved one has left them and taken their mind. Many young fella has traveled and toiled, searching for treasure of silver and gold. My time will be over soon. Meet me by the river, underneath the light of the moon.
Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Dude, you were feeling it.
yeah, I get into that one.
I mean, when we're sitting here watching Jessica, I mean, His eyes are closed because I mean you're not pulling energy from us, right? So I mean you got to create your own energy and feel that vibe. So what's that? That's got to be even different. You do indoor, outdoor, and now here you are, kind of locked down, with a little private audience.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this type of layout. I like podcasts.
Well, that was cool.
That was cool.
I can hardly wait to
very
listen to
much.
the playback to hear what it sounded like, but it was awesome to hear create that energy and that feel. Talk about that song.
Yeah, that's an original. It's called "Meet Me by the River." It's just kind of like an ode to I guess it kind of has the feeling of like an old murder ballad. But when I wrote it, that's kind of the feedback I've heard. But when I wrote it, there wasn't the feeling of like it's not about a murder necessarily. It's just about spookiness. It's just kind of this it's very vague. It's just meet me by the river. You don't really know what's going on. It's just kind of about that feeling.
Now, do you have a river in mind when you're writing this?
I don't, but I did grow up in Kernville. So I grew up near the Kern River.
Yeah.
So I got a few river songs.
Well, very cool. So, Jessica, what's it like for you being the farmers market manager? You've had to kind of put your lineup together, and now we're getting a little sample of the energy that we're going to feel.
I'm excited because I did ask for everybody to send a sample of what their music is like. Django, you are one of the easiest people to find samples of music because you are all over the place. So it is very helpful when you can kind of get a taste for what each musician is going to bring each week. I feel like a lot of our musicians will do covers. A lot of them do have original music that they will be doing. So I think the variety this year will be really nice to have.
Yeah, I think the originals, it speaks to your talent. Sure, and your passion for music, and then obviously your family background in music too. It's just it really kind of sings to that.
Yeah, we have his mom and grandpa coming too towards the end of market. I have them scheduled.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, super cool. They're going to be playing together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have they done that there through your mom's entire life? Have they kind of done that father-daughter thing?
It's definitely something that's really picked up. Maybe, well, a lot in my lifetime, that's for sure. It's going to the different open mics and playing together, and also just playing together at my house. They got so many songs, they could sit down, if someone came up to them and were like, you're on in 5, they could probably play 3 hours, with all the songs they have together.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you this. I mean, first, if you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, so you're 21. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? Do you want to continue to pursue music, or is this something you just enjoy to do, or is this the career?
Yeah, I'm definitely a musician. My career is music, but for the time being, my goals are just to improve the Tehachapi music scene. I've done a lot of playing around here, and I just really want to see more shows and more. There's a lot, but I want to see more shows and more people starting bands and starting to play music and just getting out there and giving it a try.
Now, do you play in a band?
I play in a few projects. I mostly play solo, but I do have a duo called the Salt River Cats. We've been playing a good little bit. We just got started with my buddy Jake Shorts. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of like a folk. We do a lot of Grateful Dead, but a lot of folk and a lot of some of that older stuff too. Paranoid Freaks, shout out Johnny Petroni and Rocky Petroni. They play in a lot of bands, and they play a lot around here, and that's kind of a punk band that happens when it's able to happen. The Bothers is a duo I'm in, kind of like a folk, it's me and a piano player and a vocalist, or piano player / vocalist. And we just played our first show in March at West Lane. So,
well, what are some of your musical influences? You mentioned, besides your grandfather and your mom, you mentioned the Grateful Dead there, that you do some of those covers. What are some of your other musical influences?
Towns Van Zandt, Lightnin' Hopkins, Blaze Foley, Austin-based musician, or somewhere in Texas. I was actually buddies with Towns Van Zandt. Jimmy Martin, Hank Williams Sr., that sort of thing. Robert Johnson, gotta give credit to him.
So you got an old soul.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, do you have another song that you can play along for us?
Sure, I'll give it a try. This is a tune called Whiskey for Me.
And now, did you write this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Since you're 21, I guess it's okay, right?
We have a friend, her hair is all red. Buy her a drink just to hear what she says. Up in the morning, working all day, hoping for shelter and livable pay. And it's out with the old, in with the new. You're down and you're out, you get by when you're blue. It's a whiskey for me, how's a beer sound for you? We won't have to worry tomorrow. Over by the coastline, there's men taking walks, talking about horses and women and stuff. Down by the river, the crane sings her song. Water's her money and sun is her gold. And it's out with the old, in with the new. You're down and you're out, you get by when you're blue. It's a whiskey for me, how's a beer sound for you? We won't have to worry tomorrow. Morning, for the quiet's all gone. The wind tells you secrets, whispers its song. How many mornings when you're all alone have you been thankful that peace is your own? And it's out with the old, in with the new. Down and you're out, you get by when you're blue. It's a whiskey for me, how's a beer sound for you? We won't have to worry tomorrow. Out with the old, in with the new. Down and you're out, you get by when you're blue. It's a whiskey for me, how's a beer sound for you? We won't have to worry tomorrow. Whiskey for me, how's a beer sound for you? We won't have to worry tomorrow. Have a friend, her hair is all red. Buy her a drink just to hear what she says.
Very nice.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, so what's the backstory on that one?
It's kind of the same thing. It's hard to pinpoint, a backstory. I mostly write from a place of feeling. I don't have a picture in my head when I do it, but that one definitely is about Kernville. The kind of image of a crane at a river by the water again. The sun is her gold, just kind of soaking up the sun, just hanging out. And then, that opening line is up in the morning, working all day, hoping for shelter and livable pay. I think that's just kind of at a place that I was at when I wrote this. It was just kind of could have been about a lot of people, about a lot of my friends, just, young people getting apartments, trying to eat and pay rent and everything.
I think a lot of people could relate to that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of different visualizations that were going through my mind as you were singing. So this is going to be cool. Mm-hmm. I think that the experience out there in Centennial Plaza is going to be fun. And I think you're going to, now, did you perform, this will be the first time you performed with Farmers Market?
Farmers Market. But you performed at 4th of July last year, right?
Yeah, I did. And this will be the first time, BK one year was kind of doing like farmers market shows, mm-hmm. and a group I was working with kind of did that. But for the past 2 years, I've busked out kind of in front of hitching posts, just set my guitar out and made sure to be quiet enough, far away enough from whatever bands were playing. And I played out there. The year before last year, I did that almost every week.
What's the feedback you got from the folks that were attending?
People liked it.
Yeah.
People like to see that stuff, I think.
Yeah, it adds to the whole being outside, get that whole vibe of, the farmer's market, everything, that organic feel of just kind of coming out and just chilling on a summer evening, and it just adds to the flavor.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for it. Now, how can people follow along with your journey? You've got to have some social medias that to promote what you do.
Yeah, my main deal is my Instagram, just Django Stauffer, DjangoStauffer, all one word. And I'm also on Facebook, Django Stauffer, and then all my links to my music streaming services are in my bio of my Instagram. I'm on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm where music is.
What a great answer. I'm where music is. That's where you should be. Love that. You're there.
Yeah.
But, as Jessica said, as she tries to vet all the people that like to perform, it was really easy for you to find them.
Yes. Yeah, which was great. It makes my job easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm excited about it. Anything, as we start to wrap things up, Django, that you want to share? Is there something, one of your experiences here in Tehachapi that you'd like to share from one of your performances, or what's the feedback been like when you're out there performing at the wineries or at our breweries?
It's a really good time. People like to hear music outside, as we were kind of talking about that outside thing. And Triassic Winery, it's a pretty fun place to play because you're out on the balcony out there, and everyone who's there is there to relax, and like music, I would say, helps you relax. So that's a good environment. I've been throwing the folk night at West Lane Brewing. I did the first one, and then the second one is coming this Friday. A little shameless self-promotion. This Friday at 6:30, actually.
Perfect. Yeah.
And that's where I've just been trying to get a lot of artists out to come play. And it's not folk exclusive. It pretty much means acoustic instrumentation and original songs if you could help it. So we got some really great artists going to be out there this next run.
Excellent. So we're looking forward to your performance also at Farmers Market. I'll make sure I mark that calendar so that way I'm out there. Jessica, nice job.
Thank you.
Your job as market manager continues to evolve, and now you're booking musicians, to go along with everything else. Is it different booking a musician than the vendors?
I'd say it's almost easier just because you ask them, hey, give me a link to some music, and we get to listen to some really amazing music while we're trying to find our musicians. So
June 15th is
June
when I'll be
15th.
playing.
Okay, so that's the third
week.
The third week. Okay, so something to look forward to, and we'll keep sharing this episode leading up to it, so people can continue to get a sample of, if they haven't seen you before or perform. That way, they can make an effort to come out.
Sweet.
All right. Well, Django, thank you for taking the time and coming in.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, Jessica, anything in closing?
Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it, and you bring some very great energy with you.
Thank you, guys.
Folks, if you have any questions, you feel free to send them to us at media@tehachapicityhall.com. You can follow Django on Instagram at Django Stauffer, and it's just that simple. And we look forward to seeing you out there. Thank you again. And folks, we'll catch you again real soon right here on Tehachapod.
Tehachapod is a conversation about Tehachapi, featuring the community members who make this such a special place to call home. If you have a question or a thought you'd like to share, email media@tehachapicityhall.com. Thank you to Gary Mazzola for sharing his song, This is Tehachapi.